up, fam? It's your boy Aaron coming to you once again from First and Faithful. Today's video, I wanted to go over the Jimmy Garoppolo question, dilemma, debate, whatever words you want to use. Seems like a good time as any to go over it. As always, if you like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, hit that little like button, the subscribe button, the little bell icon. New videos every week. Really appreciate all the support as always. But let's get into the debate. And I kind of wanted to break this down, between kind of cons and pros. I don't think anybody thought we'd be having this discussion 9 weeks into the season, or well, I guess 10 weeks into the season. This time last year, we were talking about how, the Niners were on their way, for a Super Bowl run, and, fast forward 12 months, and we're talking about, blowing up, getting rid of the Jimmy, starting all over, etc. It's crazy how things change quickly in life and in sports, right? So here we are, talking about Jimmy. And so like I said, I want to go over some cons, I want to go over some pros. I want to go over the cons first, then I'll go over the pros, and kind of give my opinion of what I personally would do. And then you guys, obviously in the comments, can give your opinions as well. But let's start with the cons. And for me, con number one, why, what works against Jimmy coming back next year is his injury history. And, for me, as they say, the best ability is availability. And that's true, especially with your starting quarterback, right? Your starting quarterback needs to be there. And Jimmy's had injury history going back to his days in New England. People forget when Brady was suspended for 4 games due to Deflategate. Garoppolo was supposed to play all 4 games. He only started the first 2. Got hurt, didn't play the 3rd or 4th game. It was Jacoby Brissett actually who came in and played those games. So he's had an injury, going back to those days. Obviously, came in 2017, played the 5 games, great. 2018, obviously the leg, the knee. 19 was good. Then this year with his ankle, crazy stat is the 5 games he started and finished in 2017 is the most games, the second most games, he has started and finished in his career. Like 5 starts, 5 finishes in the same season. That's his second best after last year when he started and finished, all 16 and then the 3 in the playoffs. So just to give like that kind of, when you look at it that way, like when you look at 5 starts and finishes as your second best in your career, like that's not good. As of right now, I believe he's only played in 60% of the starts he had scheduled, if you will. So that you have to be there. You have to be there. It hamstrings your team. It hamstrings your coach. Coach Shanahan, defensive genius, but it's got to suck game to game, not knowing if your guy is going to start, and then if your guy's going to finish it. You're tailoring an offense and the game plan around what your quarterback can do, what the guy behind center or under center can do, and not knowing whether or not that guy is even going to start and then is even going to finish is just not good. Obviously, the rapport you get between quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, linemen, every time you put in a new quarterback, that changes things. The rapport, the timing, all those things change, right? And so not having that starter there counting on them week after week, game after game is not good. So that's, to me, the number one biggest con. Number 2, which is also going to be in the pros, is his salary. And this ties into the injury thing. You can't pay someone $27 million if they're basically at a coin flip of playing. Like, that's just crazy. If he's not going to be out there, or basically every week it's a coin flip, or every season it's a coin flip of whether he's going to start and finish this season, that's $27 million is way too much. Going into next season, you have so many free agents you need to sign. You have the Fred Warner extension. You have to assume he resets the linebacker market the same way Kittle reset the tight end market. Trent Williams is going to want to get paid. This is his last chance at a contract, basically. I think he's 32 now. So this is his last chance of the contract to kind of make that, that upper level money. So you're gonna have to pay him. He's not gonna reset the market, but he's gonna be expensive. Period. I don't care how much he likes Shanahan. He ain't giving him that much of a discount. You have a whole secondary to either re-sign or bring in free agents, or there are some 20 plus. It is insane how many free agents there are. Only Jimmy Ward from the DBs is signed through next season, so there's a lot of decisions to make. Do you keep Verrett, Mosley, Witherspoon? Do you let them go? Bring in free agents? Do you drop you need as much salary cap as humanly possible. Kyle Juszczyk, Juice, his contract's up. There's just a lot of moving pieces cap wise, and when you have that much cap in one guy who may or may not even play, that's huge. So again, going back to the injury, that becomes a huge con for me. Number 3 for me is we don't know who Jimmy is as a quarterback yet, right? Like, he has had less than 2 full seasons worth of starts with the Niners, and we see him play very well, and we see him play and we've seen him play bad. Like, we've kind of seen it all, and I don't know who Jimmy is. I don't think you can look at him and say, hey, for sure Jimmy is 2019 Jimmy. Jimmy may be, Jimmy that he was against the Cardinals, or against Seattle, or I will say the one Jimmy he is not is 2017 Jimmy. I think that went away the second his knee blew up. That guy, the running and that guy's gone. That guy, we'll never see that guy again. Just is what it is. But what is Jimmy going forward? The next couple of years, is he 2019? Is he 2020 Jimmy? Who knows? And that's a call when you're talking about long term. Is this the guy? Do you want to keep him around, etc.? Who is he? What is he? What is he as a quarterback? Is he a top 10? Is he middle of the pack? Is he more like in that 20 range? Who knows? So again, that's another big con for me, that unknown, which goes into the last con for me, and that's his relationship with Shanahan. He was kind of thrust onto Shanahan. I don't think Shanahan wanted him. I think he traded him straight up for Cousins or Matt Ryan right now if he could. They seem to have a fine relationship, but you just don't get that feeling like Shanahan really wants Jimmy. I don't want to say he thinks of Jimmy as a deterrent, but I think he sees Jimmy as something he has to work around, like he has to account for, and I think he wants somebody else, whether that's a rookie or Cousins or somebody else, and so when that relationship between your head coach and quarterback, especially when your head coach is your OC, that's not a good thing. Just some of the comments Shanahan's made, they asked him after the Seattle game, basically about Jimmy and the contract status and free, and Shanahan did not stick up for his guy. He didn't say, hey, I don't care what Jimmy costs, he's gonna be here next season. Like, we're committed to Jimmy. He didn't say that. He basically said, yeah, the cap, you gotta maneuver around it. So, basically it was a we'll see. If this is your guy, this is your franchise guy, I can't imagine any other coach saying about their franchise guy. If that really is a franchise guy, we'll see. That's that's very telling when your head coach is like, we'll see. We'll see how the cap works out. It's like, oh, that's to me it's kind of a shot. So that definitely has some issues. But now let's get to some pros. Let's get to some pros for Jimmy. Pro number 1 for me is that contract. We talked about it. On one side it is a con because you don't know what you're going to get. On the flip side of that, though, that contract, if he is healthy, you're getting him at a bargain, right? A very good. If you could duplicate what he did last season, 2019, he duplicates that. $27 million in this QB market in the NFL now, $27 million for that production is a steal. I mean, that's a bargain. That is a super bargain. I mean, there's no, I can't imagine there's too many coaches who wouldn't take that. I mean, outside the, the Mahomes and maybe Wilson and maybe Rodgers. I mean, everybody else would take that in a heartbeat. $27 million for what Jimmy gave you last season. You take that and you don't even think about it. So, the contract, again, if he's healthy, if he can produce, that's a bargain. So a big pro on that one. The second, and probably more important than the contract, is he's a leader. This team, the players seem to love Jimmy. And he has that, he kind of reminds you of that stereotypical, good-looking quarterback, big man on camp. Like, he's that guy. Like, people tend to gravitate to him. You see the the relationship he has with Kittle and Juice. Just everybody there's something about him. Everybody gravitates to him. They really seem to love him, love playing with him and playing for him. And there's something to be said for that. There are a lot of guys, like you see that in Green Bay. Been a lot of people who've commented about Rodgers and not necessarily liking to play with Rodgers or for Rodgers. Even some rumbles about Brady and some other guys that just it definitely came definitely comes across like, yeah, I play with them because they're so great and it's it's good, but do they love playing for him? Not necessarily. It seems like everybody loves playing with Jimmy, loves playing for Jimmy. So you can't. It's hard to put a price tag on that, for sure. Another pro is we've seen him do it. And I know in the cons I said, we don't know who he is. But on the pro side of that, we have seen him do it, right? We saw it in 2019. Very good. Put in an incredibly good season. 10 minutes away from a Super Bowl. And look, his playoff run wasn't the best. But there was definitely something to build on. And so you have seen, you have the evidence that, hey, he can do it. We've seen it. It's not the question of whether he can. You've seen him do it. It's the question of whether he can continue to do it. But at least you've seen him do it. You've seen some evidence of it, that he can do it. He can, when things work just right, he can get you to a Super Bowl, but just put you on the doorstep of a Super Bowl. So that is definitely a pro in my book. Someone, having seen it on film, having seen it on the field, you're not guessing, you have seen it at least. And pro number 4 is his age. This goes into the contract, goes into, you see him for it. Like, he's still in his early 30s. Like, he is still in quarterback age. He is still super young, in the age where the quarterbacks are so protected and play, can easily play till they're, 37, 38, 38, 40, If you can get Jimmy, if Jimmy's fine, let's say he goes the next, he never gets hurt again, never misses another start, you have for the next 5 to 6 years, give or take, and you can book it at that kind of performance of, like, say, 2019 and better, like, that's great. You can book, okay, we got our guy for the next 5-6 years, book it, and then you can start focusing on other areas of the team. So many teams are derailed by, missing on the quarterback position. Jacksonville, Cleveland, Arizona for a long time. I'm trying to think, the Rams, for a long time. When you miss on the quarterback, it's a little bit easier now to overcome it because of the salary cap and the way it's structured now. But it can really set your team back, years. If you don't have that guy. Teams that can say, hey, we have that guy, we know for the next 5-6 years or so, that's the guy, we can just check mark that box and put it aside, is such a huge advantage because you don't have to worry about that. You can focus on your line, you can focus on your defense, you can focus on those things and not have to worry about what we all consider the most important piece of the team, which is the quarterback. You don't have to worry about that. Then, it's such a huge advantage, in terms of building your team and everything else. So that's my last pro as far as Jimmy goes. And then to just kind of sum it up, when people ask, what would I do? What would Aaron do? WWAA, do? For me, if I was running the team, I would ask Jimmy to take a pay cut going into next season. Restructure his deal. whether you owe them to a bonus or guarantee something. They need the cap space. So I think at worst you see them ask him to take redo his deal so they get some cap space and they can make some moves and like I said, got to resign Warner and Williams and some of the other pieces. They can stay competitive. If your idea is, I've seen people say, oh, have Jimmy as your bridge quarterback, I'm okay with that. Again, only if he takes the pay cut. Only if you can redo the deal and get some cap space. If he's not willing to do that, for me, paying $27 million for a bridge quarterback that may or may not play the whole season is, when you need that salary cap relief, is asinine. I'd rather just release him, pocket the money, and roll with Mullins for a year. If you're just looking at a bridge guy for a year and you're saying, look, we're not looking to necessarily compete for a title or anything this year. It's a kind of a reload kind of year, kind of rebuild, bring in someone rookie or whatever, and kind of redo it real quick on the fly. I say roll Mullins. He's cheaper. Is he better than Jimmy? No, but he's cheaper by a lot, and having that salary cap space keeps a lot of pieces in place, and it helps you. Again, it's not about redoing the whole team, but just reloading. Next year, you have Bosa, you have Warner. Like, if you can get a year where there's no injuries, like this team is that Super Bowl window opens up quickly again. Like that opens up so fast if you have people healthy, Debo and Ayuk. There's so many pieces that are there. If they're healthy, that window opens right back up for you. And if you hit on that quarterback, a young quarterback, a Zach Wilson, or who I like, Matt Jones. So, I don't know enough about Matt Jones. He might be very good, but if you hit on that young guy that you can get for 4 or 5 seasons at bargain basement because they're on a rookie deal, that Super Bowl window, boom, it explodes. Like you have that 4 or 5 year window where you can maybe pocket 1 or 2 or 3 titles in that time frame because you can transfer that money to other pieces. So that's that's what I would do. I wouldn't keep him. If you have to pay him $27 million, I'm not keeping him. I think that money is better spent elsewhere. I honestly would just rather use that money on elsewhere. But like I said, if you could promise Jimmy Garoppolo is never going to get hurt again, and he's going to play at 2019 or better level, if you can lock that up for the next 5-6 years, I think this, again, that Super Bowl window is nice and wide open. So that's what I personally would do. This isn't an anti-Jimmy thing. I know every time someone criticizes Jimmy, especially on Twitter, if you guys are active on Twitter, you see it. Every time you say, oh, anything about Jimmy, it's like, oh, you're a Jimmy hater. And I'm not. I did a video when I first started this channel, basically about Jimmy. I thought could be the MVP this season. And I did this in the offseason. I just thought second year with Shanahan and the weapons. Like, I really thought if Jimmy made that next step up, he could very, very easily, win an MVP. Hasn't worked out that way, but it has nothing to do with being a hater. It's just being realistic about the team. And I think as fans, sometimes people get enamored with players over the team. And I've always said I'm a fan of the team first, players secondary. I trade George Kittle right now if it meant they'd win the Super Bowl. Like, sorry, love George, but again, it's about the team. I was a fan before Jimmy Garoppolo came along. I'll be a fan long after Jimmy Garoppolo leaves. So you have to be real as fans. You can't have it where you start standing players. You just get infatuated with players because this is sports. They come and they go. They get hurt. They suck. Like, just stand the team. Just be in love with the Niners, and you'll be okay. You don't have to get into these crazy, like, you get so attached emotionally to players when you leave. You just eyes on the prize, if you will. So that's my take. Thanks for watching as always. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Would you keep Jimmy next season? Would you keep Jimmy with the caveat? Like I said, I keep Jimmy, but he's got to take a different deal. He's got to take a pay cut for me personally. So let me know what you guys think. Does he have to take a pay cut for you? Would you do the 1 year, keep him for 1 more year, see how he does, and then go from there? Let me know what you guys think in the comment. But as always, thank you for watching. This has been First and Faithful. I'm Aaron. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching First and Faithful. Here's another video I think you'll enjoy. Also, don't forget to subscribe. New videos every week. Appreciate all the support.